What if the reason you are failing isn't laziness? What if you've been working harder than almost everyone around you? Waking up early, staying up late, sacrificing weekends, skipping vacations, and still nothing is moving. That feeling, that quiet, specific devastation of effort without result. It doesn't make sense. You are doing everything right. You are trying. You are grinding. But the numbers in your bank account don't reflect it. The promotion hasn't come. The business hasn't grown. And the people who seem to be doing less than you are somehow ahead. That is not just frustrating. That is the kind of pain that makes you question your entire identity. Maybe you are not built for this. Maybe you chose the wrong path. Maybe you are just not enough. I want you to stop right there, because today, I am going to tell you the story of a man named Daniel, a farmer from rural Ohio. A man who worked harder than anyone I've ever heard of and still failed for 7 straight years. And then, in year 8, something shifted. But because he finally understood why the hardest workers are often the last to win. Stay with me, because this story might change how you see your entire life. Daniel Marsh, 34 years old, Millbrook, Ohio. He woke up at 4:47 every single morning. Not 5, not 4:30, 4:47, because that is when his father woke up, and his father's father before that. He was a soybean farmer, 3rd generation, calloused hands, worn boots, a face that had seen too many cold mornings, and not enough warm results. He had a wife named Claire, 2 children, a 7-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl, and a mortgage that kept him awake 3 nights a week. Every single year, Daniel worked the land harder than the one before. More hours, more effort, more sacrifice. And every year, the yield stayed average. Sometimes, even below average. Every October, Daniel would stand at the edge of his field, staring at numbers that didn't match his effort, and think, what am I doing wrong? By year 6, Daniel had started comparing himself. His neighbor, Marcus, younger, newer to farming, was producing 30% more yield on less land, driving a newer truck, talking about expansion. Daniel couldn't understand it. He would watch Marcus leave his fields at 3 p.m., while Daniel was still out there at 7, 8, sometimes 9 at night, tired, dirty, defeated. He started doing the math, obsessively 12 to 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, for 6 years. That is over 20,000 hours of work. And still, average results. His wife Claire noticed the change in him. Not just the exhaustion, something deeper. The light behind his eyes was fading. He stopped laughing at dinner. He stopped making plans. He started speaking in shorter sentences, like a man who had given up on beautiful. One evening, she put her hand on his and said, "Daniel, you are the hardest working man I know." He didn't respond, because he was tired, not physically, but spiritually. There is a kind of tired that no sleep can fix. It is the tired of pouring yourself into something and feeling like the ground is swallowing everything you give, with nothing coming back. Daniel knew that tired. He was living inside it. Year 7. A drought hit Millbrook hard. Half the farmers in the county lost significant portions of their crops. Daniel lost 40% of his yield. It was the worst season of his life. At a community meeting that November, tired farmers sat in folding chairs in the church hall, talking about subsidies and soil conditions. And then an old agronomist named Harold Webb stood up, 71 years old, retired. He hadn't been asked to speak. He just stood up, adjusted his glasses, and said something that stopped the entire room. Most of you are farming the same way your grandfathers did, and your grandfathers were brave men. But brave effort in the wrong direction is still the wrong direction. He continued, "A plow going deeper in bad soil doesn't fix bad soil. It just tires out the farmer." Daniel felt those words land somewhere deep in his chest. He drove home slowly that night. He sat in his truck in the driveway for 22 minutes. Claire saw the lights. She waited. When he finally came inside, he said 3 words, "I've been plowing." She didn't understand what he meant, but Daniel did. He had been confusing motion with direction, effort with strategy, hardness with intelligence. He had been plowing over and over in the same tired soil that winter. Daniel didn't rest, but he stopped plowing instead. He studied, he read, he talked to agronomists, data analysts, sustainable farming experts. He drove 4 hours to attend a precision agriculture seminar that most farmers his age wouldn't bother with. And slowly, he built what he later called the harvest shift, a 3-part framework that didn't just change his farm, it changed his thinking entirely. Step 1, diagnose before you work. Daniel discovered that 60% of his fields had soil that had been over-farmed. It was depleted, exhausted. No amount of labor could pull yield from exhausted soil. He spent 60 days doing nothing but soil analysis, testing, mapping, understanding. The rule he created, before any new effort, spend 20% of your time understanding what is actually broken, not guessing. Diagnosing. Most people skip this step. They go straight to effort. And they plow exhausted soil for years, wondering why nothing grows. Step 2. Eliminate the 40% that costs you everything. Daniel identified that 40% of the tasks he performed daily were either redundant, low value, or actually harmful to long-term yield. 40%. He was spending nearly half his energy on things that weren't just unproductive. They were actively working against him. He cut them ruthlessly. He hired one part-time assistant to handle logistics. He automated 2 processes using basic precision agriculture technology. This freed up 11 hours per week. 11 hours he redirected entirely into the highest leverage areas of his operation. The principle: effort minus the right 40% equals exponential progress. Step 3. Track the invisible number. Daniel started measuring something no one around him was measuring, not yield per acre, not revenue, but return per HR of effort. Every week, he calculated how much output per hour of actual work. This one number changed everything because it forced him to constantly ask, is this effort producing return, or am I just staying busy to feel productive? He called it his invisible number because it is the number most hardworking people never track. And it is the exact number that separates the exhausted from the exceptional. Spring of year 8 was brutal. The new system required investment, financial and mental. Soil rehabilitation took time. Cutting old habits felt wrong. Doing less physical labor felt like failure. One evening in April, Daniel walked to the edge of the east field, the one he'd chosen to rehabilitate that season, and it looked barren, empty. While Marcus's field next door was already showing early green, he called his brother that night. "I think I am making a mistake," he said. "I think I should just go back to how I was doing it." His brother said, "How is that working for you, Dan?" Silence. "I'll call you in October," Daniel said quietly. And he hung up. And he went back to the system. October year 8. Daniel's rehabilitated fields produced 41% above his 7-year average, not because he worked more, because he worked differently. His return per HR of effort had doubled. He was leaving fields by 4 p.m. most days. He was present at dinner. He was laughing again. The bank called about refinancing his mortgage at better terms. His operation looked financially healthier than it had in a decade. But the real breakthrough wasn't financial. It was the morning Claire looked at him across the breakfast table and said, "You are back." And Daniel knew exactly what she meant. Here is what Daniel's story is really about. Hard work is not enough. It has never been enough. The world is full of exhausted, hardworking people who are failing, not because they're weak, because they're misdirected. You can outwork everyone in the room and still lose if you are plowing exhausted soil. Success isn't built by those who work the longest. It is built by those who diagnose first, eliminate ruthlessly, and measure what is invisible to everyone else. Effort is the entry fee. Strategy is the game. Your hours are not the asset. How you use them is. The hardest workers who win aren't working less. They're working right. And there is a version of you, not far from where you are standing, who has figured out the difference. So here is what I want you to do. Right now, not tomorrow. 1. Ask yourself honestly, what is the exhausted soil in your life? The job, project, or habit you keep plowing that is no longer producing. Name it. 2. Find your 40%. What are you doing daily that costs you energy, but returns almost nothing? Write down 3 things this week you can cut, delegate, or automate. 3. Create your invisible number, one personal metric that measures return on effort. Not just activity, track it weekly for 30 days. Then come down to the comments and write this one word, shifting. That is your commitment. To yourself, not to me. Toe the version of you that has been working incredibly hard and deserves to finally see results that match. You are not failing because you are not enough. You are failing because you haven't changed the soil yet. Change it.